Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 110. I hope that you are all well and that you have been romanticising your life this past week. I know a few of you have tagged me in stories and sent me messages telling me what you've been doing and that you've really enjoyed last week's episode, so thank you so much. Also, some very exciting news, at least for me. This week, I got into the Apple Podcast self-development charts so there's 200. You can get into the charts at number 200 onwards. And I got in at number 38. Guys, I'm very, very excited about that. I have been in there once before. And I think it was at like 171. So to think that I am getting very close to the top is super exciting. If you could leave me a review this week, I'm not joking you when I say it would change the game for me, because it's the reviews that push you up the Apple charts. And when you get near the top of the Apple charts, they then start recommending your podcast to other people, which really widens your audience. So you would be doing me a massive favour if you could leave me a podcast review on Apple this week. It would mean the absolute world to me. And thank you so much to the people who have already left me one. I've seen a few of them come through this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this week, I want to talk to you about a bit of a mindset concept. And I think it's so important, and that is taking messy action. So when I was speaking at the Soul Season event last weekend, I had to do this myself. I also had a conversation with a lady afterwards who told me that this was going to be her new life motto, because I mentioned it during the Q&A part of the day. So often we'll wait until we think that things are perfect. We'll wait until we think that we're good enough, or until we feel confident, or until we know that we're going to be really good at something, or until we feel like we know what we're doing before we'll take any action on something new that we've not done before. And that is a surefire way to make sure that you stay stuck where you are and that you do not progress in the direction that you want to. And I sometimes have some quite surreal moments in my life these days where people message me on Instagram and I'll respond to them. I always respond to everybody as much as I possibly can. And they'll say things like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you responded." Or I'll meet somebody in person, or we'll start doing a one-to-one together and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I feel a bit starstruck." And it is so weird for me to hear that. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not complaining. It's giving Beyonce, babe, and I am here for it. But I have got a bit of a secret to share with you. Even the people that you admire or that you see as further ahead than you, or in some way you think are like well known for what they do, they still don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm speaking on behalf of us all. We are just fumbling our way through and learning as we go. The difference is that those people that you are viewing as someone who is proficient at whatever they do, or that they're well known, or that they're skilled at whatever craft it is, or there's some kind of authority on a specific subject, they once didn't know what the fuck they were doing either. And I am speaking from much experience, let me tell you. But what got them there was a willingness to be shit at something in order to eventually be good at it. And this doesn't just apply to careers, it can be absolutely anything. So let's take, for example, the people in the gym, the ones that you go in and they're in the Gymshark outfits and they look like they're fresh off an Instagram advert for gym wear, and you see them going in and out of the gym every day. They're growing an arse, they're getting shredded, they're lifting heavy weights. Those people whose confidence and ability might even make you feel a little bit intimidated by, once walked through the doors of that gym for the very first time, or at least the first time in a long time. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing either. And actually, the ones who have become really good at something and who have been successful in it are often the ones who are most eager to make you feel comfortable and to help you with it. I have a friend, in fact, Damien, who's done exactly that. He has been willing to go into the gym when he was out of shape, when he didn't really know what he was doing. He was listening to people who were doing better than he was at the time and taking their advice. And now he has had the most incredible transformation in both body but also in mindset because of his willingness to take messy action. It's amazing. Go and follow him, actually. He's such a lovely guy. He talks about mindset, fitness, digital marketing, other inspiring stuff. He's called Damien Grayley, at Damien Grayley. You can find him on Instagram on my follow list, but go and have a look at his transformation. He's on TikTok as well. But there'll be people who are listening to me right now who want to start a podcast on a topic that they are passionate about, but they feel like they don't know what they're doing. They're worried that the first episode is going to be a bit ropey or that it's going to be too hard. Guess what? My first few episodes were also a little bit shit. And sometimes I still make episodes that when I listen back, I think, that was a little bit shit. It doesn't mean that I stop recording or that I throw in the towel, just like people in the gym will feel the same. Sometimes they'll go to the gym and they'll feel like that wasn't very good. Or somebody who does public speaking, they'll do a speech and they'll think that wasn't very good, or whatever it is that you want to get better at. And I look at people like Stephen Bartlett and Rob Dial, and I watch their podcast interviews on YouTube and I think, wow, they're so good. I would love to be like that one day. But I also know that I will be like that one day, because you know how I know? It's because they're 500 episodes ahead of me. They've got so much more experience than I have right now. And if you listen back to their older episodes, especially Rob Dial's, who's my absolute favourite, they're a bit ropey. And it's just an inevitable part of the growth process. If you're waiting to be perfect at something, you're never even going to start. It's just not going to happen. And there's nothing worse than having some kind of dream, whether that's to get in shape, to start a podcast, to start a business, to go solo traveling, to move to a different country, to reach a certain level in your job, to put yourself out there on Instagram, to find the love of your life, absolutely anything, and to sit there and to never experience it because you were waiting for the right time. There is no such fucking thing as the right time, babe. I'm telling you now. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the day where you feel ready? Because take it from me, you will never feel ready, at least not fully. If you want to improve and you want to grow and you want to progress, there is only one way to do that. You have to consistently and intentionally step outside of your comfort zone as often as possible. And you won't like it. It'll feel uncomfortable, hence the name comfort zone. It'll start feeling you'll start feeling resistance to it. But once you start and you see that actually when I step outside my comfort zone, I don't die, I'm okay, I survived another day, it starts to become a bit of a positive addiction. And before you know it, you will be reaching heights that you once only dreamt of, because you are choosing to consistently and intentionally step outside of your comfort zone to put yourself in scenarios where you need to take massive action in order for your growth. You're not expecting to get it right first time, you're just expecting to grow. A big factor that stops us from taking messy action is the fear of judgment from others. But I can promise you that anyone who you see to be ahead of you will never, ever judge you for taking messy action. They'll be cheering you on. They will be watching you and they will be proud of you, because they will see a past version of themselves in you, and they'll be excited for what is ahead of you if you sustain that. If you feel that someone is judging you, let them judge you, because that is not a reflection of you, babe. It is their own insecurities creeping in about themselves, because they are likely to know that they don't have the bollocks to do what you're doing, and they're never going to get where you're going. And we can all think of times where we've been judgmental. And if you really think about the times that you've judged somebody else, it's probably because you felt like you couldn't do that, if you be completely honest with yourself. And when you start realising that you can do anything you like, you stop judging other people because you just want to cheer them on. And interestingly, you'll find that later down the line, when that judgment turns into respect and admiration, they'll probably be coming to you asking for help to show them the way. So when you go into something knowing that you are absolutely, without doubt, going to cock it up in one way or another, that you're going to face challenges, that you're going to look daft and feel daft and look a bit silly. You are inevitably going to be a little bit shit. There is nothing left for you to fear. So start viewing your perceived failures as stepping stones along the river to success on the other side. So each time that you fall in the water as you're crossing the river, you will learn another lesson about how to balance better. It's only failure, the kind of failure that we've been conditioned to believe is real, if you fall off and then you decide to turn back and you don't go for it. If I told you that when you got to the other side of that river, your vision was waiting for you, but first you had to fall off each of the moss-covered, slippy stepping stones, you would be rushing to fall off them because each one is a step closer to your vision, to success, to your goal. If the stepping stones were dry and it was easy to cross, for one, you would not appreciate reaching the success on the other side. And secondly, you wouldn't have developed your character enough to keep it, and you'd very quickly lose it all again because you wouldn't have rewired your subconscious to keep that level of success. And so it's really, really fucking important that your vision is expansive and excited enough that you are willing to keep moving forward, because when you are halfway across and you're in the deepest part and you're getting fucking piss wet through, that is the point where you are most likely to want to turn back and give up. And that's because we are subconsciously hardwired to stay safe. What's ahead of you, in front of your eyes, what you're looking at on the other side of the river, needs to make you want to swim with everything you've got. It needs to make you want to climb back on the slippy stepping stones and keep going, which is why I'm always harping on about thinking of what you would love, not what you think is just achievable for you. So welcome the failure in, welcome the feeling daft, welcome the lessons, because what you'll find is that it's not actually the success or the manifestation coming into the physical that brings you the greatest satisfaction. It's realising who you have become and looking back on how far you've come in that process. That is what's going to light you up. That's what's going to bring you that satisfaction. So if you just jump to the other side and somehow land safely, it won't feel like you imagined it would feel. And the journey never ends, because when you get where you're going, by that time, while you're crossing the river and while you're going through the difficult parts and struggling a little bit, what's happening is you're expanding your vision. It's getting bigger and bigger. And it's expanding accordingly to what you believe is possible for you. So there will be another wider river to cross when you get there. So you have to absolutely learn to enjoy splashing about in the fucking water when you fall in and just getting back up and keeping moving forward. So today, I really want you to think about your vision, and I want you to ask yourself this question: what messy action can I take today that is going to move me forward? And then go and fucking do it, babe. Do it today. You will never, ever be ready. But what you will have to live with is regret if you wait until you are ready, because you're never, ever going to get there. So don't wait. Just go and do it today. Take that small little bit of action that is going to move you in the right direction. So it's a bit of a short episode for you today. I've not got anything else for you. I just really wanted to get that point across to you. And I hope that you found this episode useful. If you did, please, once again, I would be super, super grateful for a review. If you share this episode with a friend and tag me in your stories on Instagram, again, I'd be very grateful. You can follow me on Instagram at EmpowerState and come and tell me about your messy action in the Facebook group, which is Empower State Community. Also, the doors for the Empower State membership are now open, and I'm very excited. We did our first live masterclass the other day, which was amazing. And we're about to do a Q&A later on this week. So drop me a DM if you want to know any more information about it, and have a beautiful week. I'll see you soon.